Well, I mean, look, I mean, the point of my book is I was trying to write a rite of passage book. I mean, I wrote some funny stories now. I mean, I was like literally on my first job interview at Goldman, I was in 100% polyester. I didn't have the money, and so I bought a cheap suit from Cy Sims, which is not even around anymore. And I remember the Goldman partner looking at me, is like, dude, you're smart, but you're like the worst dressed person that we've ever met. And I remember thinking, what the hell does he know? I thought I looked great. Meantime, I was like fully flammable for the job interview. So I try to tell people the real story, not that hagiographic story. I could tell you my resume and the different things that I've done. You say, okay, that sounds impressive, but then you don't see behind the scenes. You don't see all those warts. So what I would tell people is don't be afraid of the warts. Michael Dell became a business associate of mine 20 years ago, and he had a great line. He said, look, there were 5, 6, maybe 10 mail order PC companies in the mid 80s when he got started building computers in his dorm room and ultimately creating Dell Computer. And he said he had to make maybe 8,000 decisions, and he had to go 95 to close to 100% on those decisions to get things right. But when he was making a bad decision, or when a product design came up that was flawed, he didn't let it annihilate him. He said, okay, that's supposed to happen. And I think, meeting guys like Mark Andreessen or Ben Horowitz or having them speak at my conferences is that they know intuitively that a lot of the stuff that they're doing is going to fail. And so I would say to you, you have to think of yourself like a rubber ball, not like a piece of bone china. And so when you drop and you hit the ground, you've got to be ready to bounce off the ground. You can't allow yourself to get shattered by a dream that you had, it's not going well, or by a business career decision that you made that's not going well. But the flip side of that is you have to have a delicate balance. You don't want to day trade your career. So if it's not going great, you don't want to leave after 6 months or a year, because then someone's going to look at your resume and say, okay, that person's a job hopper. They're never really happy. They've got ants in their pants. Mm-hmm. And so you can't day trade your career. You have to do something you really, really love, which will energize you every single day and will keep you young. Okay, remember what Coco Chanel said, the fashion designer. She's one of my legendary all-time heroes, unbelievable entrepreneur, a homely woman who started Chanel, okay? And she renamed herself Coco. I mean, how cool is she, right? And what did Coco Chanel say? Well, she said a lot of things. Number one, you get the face that you deserve when you're 50. And, now we have Botox and filler, but back then we didn't. And so what she was basically implying is if you got a frown on your face and you're sad all day and you're pissed off, well, then you're going to look like that by the time you get 50. And her point was relax into life, enjoy the process of life, so that when you get to be 50, if you're not going to a dermatologist, you look young and happy. Second thing she said, which is another great line of hers, was, wow, that's what you think of me? Well, you know what? I'm never thinking about you. Okay, it's just like a great line. It's like, just beat to your own drum, live your own life, and not worry. And so if you're looking for role models, Coco Chanel, to me, in Paris before the war and then during the Nazi occupation, this woman was legendary. And just think of her brand today, 100 years after she started. Look, these jobs are very similar. They're relationship-based jobs. They're based on core competency and inspiring trust in people. And it's based on having high integrity. If you have high integrity, you're going to go on and you're going to have an amazing amount of friends.